How's it going? Can you hear me alright? I hope I can be heard in the video. If I have to speak up loud or something, a little bit louder to be heard. We hopefully have a little bit of an interesting podcast here. We're gonna probably shoot right away to a screen share over to where I've been for a while tracking the news and whatnot. So we just want to basically cover the top stories, which is pretty much the top stories. Posting this video here on Phantom, so we were looking at that profile right there. This is taking a minute to load up because I have all these different screens opened up, so hopefully the video will stay on track while I'm doing this. So we're looking at NFL in particular because we're reporting for our own interest in sports here on Pro Football. See Brady at the top, see East preview. So it was interesting. I seen him right at the top because he is basically, along with the top subject what's circulating in the NFL right now, which is basically the Seahawks and suspensions for various people around the league are being suspended 4 games. It seems this is the typical number for most. Terrell Pryor. I don't know. I don't know if we've seen enough Terrell Pryor or not. I know that the quarterback that came from the Seahawks, the tall guy there, he sounded kind of one-dimensional. So Russell Wilson. I was looking at the Jags too. Neither one of them have Zach Miller anymore. And I was kind of wondering what they're going to do with their tight ends because this guy right here on Phantom, what he's saying right here about Jimmy Graham, I believe he's talking more about the tight end that the Jaguars acquired from the Broncos. In my opinion, that's who I think would be less maybe active on this right here, what he's saying on a run first offense. Run first offense. There's no telling what they're going to do. And it brings me to why I'm going to talk about the read option. I'm going to talk about the college speed option. But first, I want to know, I got a trivia for everybody, so I want everybody to pay attention to this one. I want to know if everybody knows why the NFL is so interested with the military in particular, more so than anybody. Does anybody know why the NFL always honors the military every time something happens? 4th of July, they have their own month the NFL recognizes the military for. It's because every war that we've ever had ever since the NFL's been there, they've had guys come out of NFL players be shipped off to that war. So it's a historical answer, and that's the answer to my quiz, and that's why they have even a month, a military month. I was raised in the military until I was 12. My pops was a Marine for 22 years. So anyhow, so we'll get back to our screen share. Hoping everybody can still hear me all right. So I looked up out here. This is what my question was. How does Jimmy Graham help stop the double team situation, right? Which is I heard from somebody on Facebook. I'll go look on there right now. My friends, because they're all a lot of them mainly have something to do with being a fan. Some are rather to do with Seattle Seahawks in particular, like super fans and stuff, are my friends on here. And I have not received an answer yet, but maybe I might. How does he help stop? Nope, I didn't. So right here, this is a story from Pro Football Talk, NBC Sports, which is a decent column. Place people writing about certain things, and these guys are saying Michael Bennett still feel the same way about Jimmy Graham, and then this guy goes on, this reporter here, or this writer, goes on to elaborate on how Bennett is probably going to change his mind real quick, especially when the season starts, and he sees how Graham is going to help out the offense. He might have a little bit of tussle with Graham if they practice against each other, because Bennett's on defense and, vice versa. So I'm looking for a healthy Seahawks team. So that's basically what this guy is saying here. I'm just scrolling down so I can see if I can find the gentleman's name. At least show the guy's name. But you've seen where I pulled this up. Joseph Alper. Posted by Joseph Alper on April 9th. So it's been a while since that. So we've come a while. So I'm sure that Graham is going to help improve the Seahawks blocking situation. And I was just going to say, don't forget, Luke Wilson is there. So that's going to be the second, the other tight end that's been with them, I believe, with both of their Super Bowls, right? So Luke Wilson is veteran now from both of their squads. He came back after been at two Super Bowls with the team, is what I'm saying. And that's what I remember. But anyway, so now Jimmy Graham's going to come in here and help the Seahawks solidify a deal. So that's all I got to say is blocking be an issue because he won't be he's not one of the best blockers in football, which doesn't really matter. I was saying that what you really needed to do was you needed to go and look at their roster that they have here. So you see Lynch's backups. They're pretty good. They're probably good enough to take over for Lynch if he wasn't there. I heard that a couple of these linemen are going to be absent. So we'll have to keep an eye out for injury reports, and whenever they do the official rosters in the future, we'll have to pay attention for those. But so you see these other tight ends here, not just Jimmy Graham, but I was thinking that Jimmy Graham was one of the better elite tight end blockers. I was thinking, just thinking a little bit about their chemistry, him, Darren Sproles, and Drew Brees had together. So, and I've been calling Russell Wilson the new Steve Young. So Steve Young, he's the new Steve Young. He can move, he can throw off of his feet when his feet are, off the turf, and he can throw like a maniac, like a madman. So Russell Wilson is worth what he said he's worth, at least. So, anyways, you see their fullback, Will Kofu. I was looking at the Jaguars fullback too. Let's see. Ta'afo. I really would be interested in learning how to pronounce that right. That'd be great. Let's see if I can get this up here so you can see what I'm talking about. I name it similar too. Just like Zach Miller. There's a Zach Miller here, Seattle, and then Zach Miller, Jaguars. See? He's an American football tight end for the Chicago Bears now. Just so everybody knows, the two different Zach Millers right there. Now you have Will Tafu. And then we have Will Takafu. Which he like Michael Bennett, I've seen him in a couple different what do you say, videos so far. His contract situation. He's just basically saying something will get done with the contract situation there. Michael Bennett, I just let's see, I left a comment on the guy, Michael Robinson, right there. So I thought Michael Robinson was really good, so I don't know why he's not playing no more, but all I can say is it seems like the Seahawks are getting their fullbacks from from the Niners and some players from the Niners. And I don't know. We're gonna move on now to what we were talking about, the speed option. So kind of wondering, see how the Oregon Ducks, now former quarterback, is going to do now. See, it's kind of going to be interesting to see what Oregon is going to do to replace Mariota. QB situation at Oregon. They had been running the speed option there, so I'm pretty used to that. The speed option basically, because that's the college team I prefer to support or root for in college. That's my college team. Brings up RG3, and I heard some people, Mark Grinnell, saying that he has confidence in him, but when you're talking to people like out here who would have a conversation out in just limbo, not on TV or anything like that, we say that he's got to get RG3, Robert Griffin III's got to build up his body himself to NFL strength. Like he's too small still to play in the not play football. If he as much as he could get away with not getting hit by one of these trains that really are human being train, that's trying to take your head off, and that's why he keeps getting injuries, and he'll be prone to injuries. I did do a little bit. I've done a little bit of reading in ESPN and other places about his backup that was with him, where Griffin played college, where he came from, his backup. So I believe that his backup was a little bit, was being talked about in the news a little bit. We're talking about the NFL news in particular. So they're doing a tribute patriotism to the military, and then I seen Hall of Fame tight end Charlie Sanders dies at age 68. That's terrible news to hear. Then we go right into, right here we go right into suspensions right away. Gates suspended for 4 games for PEDs. Arrested. Look at this. Packers tight end Andrew Corliss arrested in Miami for firing a gun. That's not good. Football, baseball, if traded to Mariners. That caught my eye. Russell Wilson saying if he was traded to the Mariners. It's cool. I like the Mariners, alright. QB Remington suffered partial torn pectoral muscle. Browns wide receiver Bo plans to fill void left by Gordon. Gordon, I don't know if these guys. He's going to turn into a. You had Justin Blackman here, where they're just not going to pan out. So now you know the reason why some people feel the way that they do about RG3 in particular, that he's not going to cut out unless he puts on some more muscle. He's got to tone up big time. RG3 does. And that's the same with Mariano too. He can't figure that he's gonna last very long in this game if he doesn't put on some weight. So one thing about the Florida State quarterbacks, Jameis and Winston, is he kind of took on the approach to going to the NFL. I think but he looks fat. Like he's fat, but he really needs to tone up to the NFL because I'm not sure these guys will really understand the level above college that pros are. So, any given Sunday, they said that they're remembering Steve McNair. Saturday marks the 6th anniversary of the death of Steve McNair. The former Orioles tight end and Ravens quarterback is remembered for his great athleticism and unquestionable toughness. And I was a fan of his because kind of a country person like he was. So that's how I look towards getting some of my own strengths and kinking out some of my own weaknesses is from being country strong, like he explained before. So we didn't really forget Steve McNair. Yeah, happy 4th of July. I hope everybody's having a good time. We're probably going to have steaks and baked potatoes, probably something like that. So now we're going to, it says dig up some more, so I'm going to go to ESPN. I'm going to look at the ESPN NFL in particular. Screen share. There you got a video top. I'm just waiting for that round thing to stop right there. We'll get to the read option. I just have a varied opinion, just basically narrowed down opinion for the read option in Seattle. I wrote about this on the Seahawks Spotlight. And basically, what I said was you have to be on cue with each other for the play. So when you do read option, whenever you go out there, you might say something in the huddle, but whenever you go out and you look, the defense is going to tell you something else. Like either they caught on to, your running back is taking like a draw from the read play, and so it's a read option and basically leads you down to the snap of the ball almost, basically where you and the running back both go up after you come from out of the huddle and you look at the other team. You both have to, without saying a word, the quarterback, Russell Wilson and Marshawn Lynch, have to be so on cue to the read option when they do that down as to what direction and everything by where they see the weakness, if Wilson runs or if the running back takes it, Lynch. So it's always, it comes down to when they get down and set, not in the actual huddle when they're doing the play and talking about it on the huddle. So we have, do the Jets have the AFC best defense? Darrell Revis and Turner Cromartie, Leonard Williams, there no doubt. That's beefed up their defense. And then they were talking about Rex Ryan at the Bills. So don't forget that the Bills coach took I'd say a cut or something, demotion. Took a demotion and came here to be an assistant head coach and offensive line coach or something like that. The Bills coach that Rex Ryan took over for. Another one of those wing parts. Here we go. Steelers coaches. Yeah, because it is important. It is important to look at this again, because this is kind of dynamic what you're looking at. Doug Monroe, right here, assistant head coach. So what they're doing, and they might actually be trying to. I don't know why they wouldn't demote Greg Olson. That might be my opinion altogether. It's just to bump him out of there, maybe, and then have Gus take over the defense and have Doug take over the offense. And I don't see how maybe you can keep these guys from crashing, but there it is. Just my opinion. So I don't know. I remember speaking of the Oilers, weren't they the ones that the coaches like got into a fight on the sideline? So we don't want that to happen again. But anyways, I would say what would be relevant to that Phantom story, this Graham, would be Jaguars or Broncos. Julius Thomas. So that would be I would wrote that right there is Julius Thomas. Is he gonna help improve the Jaguars blocking? Thomas received a 5-year, $46 million contract that averages out to $9.2 million a year. The deal, including a whopping $15.1 million in 2015 alone, $9 million is in base salary, a $6 million signing bonus, and a $100,000 off-season workout bonus, according to an NFL source. Box. So that tells me right there that the Jacksonville Jaguars better have their blocks ready, their blockers ready. So that even goes even more into what I was saying before about the Jacksonville Jaguars. I live in the Jacksonville area, so I've been to a lot of their practices and the community greetings and stuff. Just really have a lot of fun with them. So I'm a little familiar with those guys. I've been a Seahawks fan since I was a kid. We were a military family, so we moved around a lot. So I became a Seahawks fan because I knew that they were from where I was from, the Pacific Northwest. So I always rooted for them for that reason. I have ties and family from the Jacksonville area, so I stay kind of on demand with them. Trying to, now I'm a little bit careful. I don't want to add too much, so I don't try to overstate anything like I might have overstated some things before. And that was my fault for doing it, because like everybody else, the stories were read, they were really good, but the bad part of it was, and it wasn't my fault. The reason why I said on my page on that Phantom fandom is because I said that I wasn't completely at fault with the Luke Jokel move to the right side from the left, because he's a left tackle, so players should really be left alone. So that leads me to the running back situation in Jacksonville. Also, the Toby Gerhart that they're trying to run there, he's really a fullback. They get a lot more success out of their games and out of their plays if they would work him into their offensive scheme like he was being worked before, what he's meant for, and then you would get some caliber blocking where you'd be lacking from your tight ends because Mercedes Lewis is a big guy. He could block a little bit too, but he's also kind of a little bit prone where you can get anybody. It's not just them, but you can get anybody, hurt out there if they're not doing their job in particular. So, let's see here. So you run your fullback like that. Let's see if I can get back on track. Ducks QBs. We were talking about the Oregon Ducks QBs, and it's going Clemens, Kellen Clemens, Dennis Dixon, Darren Thomas, Joey Harrington. Some of my best favorite QBs. 2015. Now that he's gone, Jeff Lucky states case to be next Oregon Ducks starting QB. So, anyways, Luke Jokel, what I was saying about the Jaguars is I said move him to the right side, maybe teach him to be right side because they needed a good right side lineman, but he's really built and made for the left side, and that's me taking away a little bit of what coaches and everybody else, that have worked with the guard before, where him and the quarterback Manziel played for in Texas. What was it? It wasn't. Former Arlington, Texas. Where are you from? Which one do I still believe in Joko? Well, they better. You know how many first round players are these guys going to end up losing to some other team? So what I was saying is when they did the move, I wrote about this. So some of them, they were encouraged by other things, not just me, but it made sense with what they were doing at the time to move this guy, Texas A&M. I just didn't want. I knew it was A&M anyway. So they moved him, and when they moved him to the right side, they let Eugene Monroe go. Eugene Monroe. They gave him to the Baltimore Ravens instead of, and this is what the Jaguars have been doing notoriously for a long time, since before David Garrard and the old regime. It was right after Tom Coughlin got here, so it was mainly during the last regime that they were making a lot of these mistakes. They were drafting a lot of people and it didn't go with their scheme. So one of my things that I'm talking about in this video, in this program today, one of my questions is, what's the major scheme? So I'm saying, what scheme are you playing in the National Football League whenever you draft a player, you trade for a player, whatever you're doing there? what is your scheme? Obviously, this guy worked out great for the Baltimore Ravens. So when they got him, he's got a Super Bowl ring now, right? Did he get a Super Bowl ring after that? I believe he did. But anyhow, so Luke Joker needed to be on the right side, but at the time when they did that, they shipped him out of Jacksonville, out of town. This Monroe guy. And they let Forsett go. Forsett could have done a lot if they would have just kept him and worked with him. But I don't think that the Jaguars have had a lot of confidence on offense, so that's why I was saying that I'm surprised they didn't at least fire that offensive coordinator that they have there. He's still there. But anyhow, we wish Monroe good luck, him and Justin Forsett and all the other guys that left. Jordan Todman, even him. So wish them good luck. So here's back to Oregon news. Jeff Locke states case to be the next Oregon Ducks starting quarterback in efficient spring game. That's the the Oregonian. We used to get that when we lived in Oregon. But the Oregonian. We'll say the person's name. Rasmussen. Is that him? By Andrew Greaves, the Oregon Live on May 4th, 2015 at 6:23 a.m. in the morning. Updated for 2015 at 10:23 a.m. Cool. I don't really need to read it. Yeah, the Timber. You see the one wide open guy right down the middle? And he had two guys open on that. See, they like running the speed option there in Oregon. Speed option, part of what they're doing in their speed option program, their like main key is they like to have their players ready and set to play the next snap right away as quickly as they could. So that's maybe like a hurry up. It's a mechanism in their speed option. All I have to say about it is players like when you get Mariana, you have to look around for your that's part of what I'm saying. What's the major scheme that you have going for your team? And this I'm addressing to the NFL. It's like the Seahawks, the Patriots, and a lot of Baltimore. I said that one too. There's a lot of teams that have their schemes down pat, what they're all doing, so they all are all on the same page. So the Seahawks looking good. We talked about the read option with them. You have to be on key. Um, uh, the running back and the quarterback in particular have to know exactly what's going on. And then that trickles down to the line and other blocking players. We're talking about blocking players, players that can do that, hold that job. And if they're a little absent, then you want them to be able to hold up blocks. Like Julie's telling us, there's people like that, to be able to be one-on-one with somebody that can block and use the right players for the right jobs, and don't try and play them at something that they're not. I've seen them do that too here in Jacksonville with Tyson Alualu. A lot of different people that watch football could probably tell you Tyson Alualu looks like an outside end on defense, but have been playing him defensive tackle for the inside for a while until the new coach came from Seattle, and he really needs to be able to focus a lot on his defense. It looks like his defense had got kind of back into shape where it was just a couple of years ago. The Jaguars defense was like 7th or something like that in the NFL overall. So, and their linebacker went to Baltimore also. So I say Mariota. I just wanted to look up him real quick and see how he's doing. Titans more yards after catches. Yeah, as long as my message to Marcus Mariota is you're gonna have to put on a lot of weight. Like your linemen eat a lot, they're in the fridge a lot. You're gonna have to be in the fridge a lot. I'm doing the same thing. I'm doing right now. I'm trying to what do you say? Find immortality. Serious. So I'm a Christian, and I believe in that religion. I believe in Christ or whatever. So I'm saying I'm looking for to be immortal if I can. I know that you can die if somebody shoots you. That's not what I'm saying that I'm like bulletproof or anything like that. I'm just saying that if I can eat the right foods and take care of my body and everything, it doesn't matter. Play football or anything at any age, and I'm gonna live to 900, 800 to 900 and something years old before I die. If Christ doesn't come back soon and I don't live forever after that, well, Bible scholars would say that's how people live. Don't die are gonna live in the rapture, in the times or whatever. I'm just looking for through food in particular is all I'm saying. My own immortality. So the right diets and also eggplant extract when I get those, as long as I don't get them 8 and 2. Let's see. It looks like the Seahawks have it good with their coach. I don't think Pete Carroll, like Michael Bennett was saying earlier in his video, Pete Carroll's going to let too much garbage happen in C-Town. So the locker room's going to be all right. The team's going to be all right. Let's see. He's going to say, hey, man, we have to compete out here, and you guys got to get your head square. So the locker room's going to be cleaned up. And I don't know if I have any more news to share. Did cover the Michael Bennett having an argument. This was April just keeps it real. That was April 9 when that comment was made. So it was, yeah, April 9 when that story was made by Joseph Alper. Said that, mentioned that guy's name. We discussed the Wilson news. He's saying his contract will work itself out, and he doesn't want to focus on baseball at all unless he's able to get a trade to the Mariners. We covered that. We covered all of this. All right. I'm not confident in Chino at all. I don't really want to comment on the Jets really at all. I like the owner of the Jets. I'll just comment that and say the owner of the Jets seems like a pretty awesome person, decent person. Basically we went around the entire league. Postseason chances. Yeah, I think they're gonna be out. From what the Cowboys owner did to his team, he really racked them up. So anyhow, that's for news for your Phantom site right there. That's another reason why we did this, made this pro football piece of garbage here. Let's see. I'm out. Dog. That's me, y'all. But anyhow, that's why I basically did this piece of garbage right here. Is because of somebody sending me an invite to your guys' place, and I'm just right now, I'm just getting warmed up. I'm just getting warmed up basically with what I'm doing here and what I'll express throughout the year once football does officially kick off. And beforehand, you'll see me get into more gear and action with that. And here, we take our caps off and we salute the military completely. And that's about it. Thanks.